Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. We knew the Biden FBI was bad and that it was weaponized to go after the radical left's opponents. But there is a disturbing new report that Biden's FBI, well, they acted like a kind of Gestapo and went after TPUSA and Charlie Kirk. But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, Charlie Kirk lived a life challenging the radical left on college campuses in the United States. And he was extremely effective at turning young people against the establishment in both the Democratic Party and in the mainstream Republican Party. He has caused a lot of young people to question the narratives that they have gotten out of the universities and out of the Democratic Party. And he proved to be a threat to the Biden regime. So according to a new report, and this is backed up by Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, the Biden FBI, well, they were trying to intimidate Charlie Kirk. Let's watch.
Why do you think Biden's FBI was really investigating Charlie Kirk?
Try to intimidate him. You know, it's interesting, Jesse, when I heard that today from Chairman Grassley, something came clear to me. Charlie had said to me a couple of years ago now, he'd taken me aside at one point and said, I think that we are being targeted, that TPUSA is being targeted. And he said, you know, can you help us? And I said, anything you need me to do. And he said, well, listen, I'm just finding out about this. This has got to be what he was talking about. And now we know that Joe Biden, once again, weaponized the FBI to go after his political opponents. It's nothing but terrorism. It's an attempt to silence and intimidate. I'm so glad that Charlie was not intimidated right up to the last day that he had on this earth. That is why he is such a sterling example. But you know what? What Joe Biden did in his administration, we can't ever allow to happen again. You look at the climate they created, Charlie. We're reaping the fruits of that now. The climate of hate and division and suspicion that they deliberately created for years to try to hold on to power. It's despicable, and it's time to turn the page on it.
The New York Post adds more insight into this story by noting that an FBI investigation launched in the wake of the 2020 election scrutinized nearly 100 Republican and GOP-aligned groups or people, including Turning Point USA, co-founded by slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk. And that came via unclassified bureau files that were released on Tuesday. And this is a quote from the Post article. In other words, Arctic Frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and DOJ prosecutors could achieve their partisan ends and improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus. And that is a report that is based on Senate GOP sources. So weigh in with your thoughts about this story. What do you think about the Biden DOJ and if there has been appropriate justice against the bad actors in that regime that weaponized our government to go after its political opponents? We appreciate and welcome your feedback.